So my name is Varun Gupta. I'm one of the co-founders of the CPB Foundation and the director of the Chennai Photo Biennale. And the CPB Foundation is a non-profit organization which has its office across the street, the CPB Lighthouse. At the foundation, we do many things across 4 primary pillars. The first is CPB Prism, our children's education wing, works within the education system of India across government schools, both in Tamil Nadu, but all across the state, including the country, including Delhi, Madhya Pradesh. Now I think we're talking about Meghalaya. So we have an expansive program. What we do is we create educational materials. If you see our store, which is our shop in the next room, some of those books are available. They are fun ways to engage children with photography. There's something that we've just launched called the Pockets of Photography, made by Prism. Go and have a look. The second is CPB Learning Lab, and the Learning Lab is both a physical space and a sort of an intellectual space for discussion, critical thinking, workshops. The Learning Lab does programs throughout the year. We have all kinds of workshops. Look us up. There's also an amazing photography book collection that's usually open across the street for you to go and have a look. We are open 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. Come in, pop in just to look at photography books. It's super exciting. Number 3, the dark room, the CPB dark room, my baby, is again across the street in the building, and the dark room has really revitalized film photography in India. We produce our own film, we sell cameras, all of which is available in the next room. We also process film, so not only can you shoot the film, but you can drop it off to us for development, for scanning, and we also help you handle your family photo archives and whatever else related to the history of photography. The darkroom has put together a lovely exhibition of our analog cameras. So after the talk, when it's daytime, please do go have a look. Our team members are there. You can ask questions. You can talk to us about all the historical photography. And finally, CPB, Chennai Photo Biennale. This is the origin story. We began first as the Biennale, and then all of this was born. The Biennale is a festival of photography in Chennai. We're supposed to happen every 2 years. This is happening after 3, thanks to COVID and other reasons. But the Chennai Photo Biennale is opening across 2 phases. December 2024, on the 20th of December. We will have shows opening in some major venues of Chennai. Very exciting stuff. Phase 2 is opening on the 17th of January. And all the shows will close on the 16th of March. So over 3 months, you will have access to incredible photography exhibitions, talks, panels, workshops, all of it, and well, all of it for free, and all of it spread across the city. And I really hope now that you've come, you're engaging with us, that you can help become evangelists for CPB and make sure lots of your friends and family can come and see our exhibitions. Our Biennale is titled Why Photograph? It's the first time the Chennai Photo Biennale has come back to its original roots by making up our own theme and building a constellation of exciting exhibitions that we will present to you. Please do look up our website and read the theme of Why Photograph. Next slide. Along with the theme Why Photograph, we have opened the CPB4 International Open Call. This is open to all of you, photographers, hobbyists, amateurs. It doesn't matter where you see yourself fit in the spectrum of photography. We want to see your photographs and we want to exhibit your photographs. You can apply very simply through our website. It is paid, but we have a heavy discount for people from India and South Asia. And you can apply with both single images or photo series, whatever you have and whatever you're comfortable with. The best part is the CPB4 International Open Call has no theme. So you do not have to be restricted by, oh, is it fitting? Which is the case with 90% of the open calls in the world. So ours is a special, and it's the first time ever we are doing an open call because our community, you told us, well, we have no way of accessing the Biennale. We have no way of showing our work in the Biennale. And so the open call is that, exactly that. It's our way of showing your work in the Biennale. Please do apply. The deadline, like it says, is the 20th of September. You have some time. It's very easy. It just takes 5 minutes to put your application together. Nothing complicated. So I hope to see many of your applications there. Yeah? Now I'm going to hand over to Shuchi, my co-founder, to introduce the wonderful panel for this afternoon.
Thank you. Hi everyone, thank you for joining us on this Sunday where I know you would have preferred to snooze in your bed. Thank you for being with us. It's a hot, hot afternoon. Unfortunately, this is not our space, which we could have air conditioned, but we tried to do our best. We've put together this very exciting panel here today, and some of the speakers also happen to be dear friends who we've known for a very long time. And I think that's one of the purposes of CPB, is to build community. And I guess it shows with all your presence here. I'll do a quick introduction to who all we have and what we might be speaking about. And I hope that all of you will continue to stay on with us, because we also have an exciting talk and other programs afterwards. So, as you all know, the panel is called BTS, Behind the Scenes, which we're all very curious about, that what happens behind these film sets and a lot of the music videos, a lot of the advertising shoots, what is going on, how do you even make your way in there? I'm sure many people have these questions, and we thought that we have some amazing people who have been doing some spectacular work over more than a decade, and we wanted to have them here share their experiences with you. So very quickly, I'm going to welcome Amith, Krishnan, who is the founder of Renuka Studios. Can we have a round of applause, please? I'll give a very, very quick introduction to those who might not know Amith. I think that's a rarity, because I think many, many people now know of Amith. He's the founder of Renuka Studios, and he has over 14 years of experience in content creation, and he's established himself as a versatile professional wearing the hats of director, editor, writer, and entrepreneur. I'm not going to share more right now, because I would rather let him talk. Next on the panel is Sharanya Chander, who is a director of photography. Thank you for being with us, Sharanya. Sharanya has a background in visual storytelling, and her work is characterized by meticulous attention to detail and an innate ability to capture emotion that has earned her recognition across various platforms. She has contributed to Netflix documentary series and a lot more. So she will be sharing a lot more with you very soon. And lastly, we have Renuka Retnaswamy, who is a photographer and also a good friend. Welcome, Renuka. Renuka is an accomplished professional photographer with 15 years of experience, a graduate of Brooks Institute of Photography in California. We will come back to Renuka to share more. And today, we have bullied somebody into moderating this session. That's how we work. And we have with us Dipti Govindarajan, who is a writer. So on the WhatsApp group that we formed, we were discussing who should moderate this session, because I don't think I would be the right person, because I haven't grown up here, and I think it makes more sense to have somebody who's been part of the industry and who's been from here, and then they recommended that let's get Deepthi. It'll be very hard for her to say yes, but we'll bully her into it. So that's what's happened. That is the BTS I'm sharing with you. Deepti Govindarajan began her career with internships at the Hindu and Surya Gula Photography before working with Singalya Productions. Sorry, I don't know if I got that right. Over the past decade, she has worked as a writing assistant, directed music videos, and freelanced with A.R. Rahman's YM Studios. Welcome, Dipti. Thank you for being with us. I am going to now just play a small set of videos and slides for you, just for all of you to get a little familiar with their work and get a little glimpse into their work, and then we will invite them to come on stage. Thank you all. Don't say it, God, Amith. Now we are going to welcome you, all of you, to the stage. Please.
Your new version I checked was after and that's the bit of the street saying this one, the best papers. Hi, please. Thank you. Wax. Yeah. Appreciate it. Yes. Thank you. What do you? Let's start this.
Hello, hi everyone. Full disclosure, we're all very good friends for a long time, so if you feel like we're talking to ourselves, please shout out and make us stop. But I'm just gonna go for it. So I'll just start with my first question. What was your origin story, guys?
What I have to start with Sharanya. What is that?
Go ahead, get started.
Okay, hi guys. So I'll be speaking in English. I guess English is predominantly the language that you're all like comfortable with. If if something is not clear, just like be open about it, and I can explain it covered also. So I started off as a photographer, and I won a camera. I wrote some random article, and then I won a camera back when I was 8th or 9th grade. And ever since I bought that camera, I just thought that I should just start shooting images. So I started shooting random stuff. There's like how Krishnan said that the first 10,000 pictures are the worst. Similarly, mine was good. Not even 10,000, I think 1 lakh pictures were the worst, or maybe more. And then I did my whisk warm up, after which I thought I should join the film industry, but my parents are not open to it. So I went on to a course in photography from UT in Life Academy. And after which I thought, okay, it's better now than never. So I just wrote the stereotype. I was like, okay, you should take that for an answer. Irrespective of your gender, it doesn't matter. It's about what you want to do. And I shouldn't have regrets, like 20 years down the lane that, okay, the money, I should have done that. So that was the one thing that was running in my mind. So I went on to do cinematography after that. And yes, I assisted a couple of people. I assisted K.F. Simon and P.S. Vinod. And after which I started my independent journey into cinematography. So this is like a brief history about me on that space.
I actually just said this story the other day, so if you listen to it, I'm sorry, I apologize in advance. So my story started when I asked my father for a cell phone in school. Like, I understand it, like all of us wanted a cell phone, right? And he got me a camera, a little point and shoot. And
the picture that made me want to be a photographer is a very popular waterfalls shot in which the drops of water were frozen. I did not know shutter speed, I did not know aperture ISO, like nothing. And it was an automatic and it froze it and I was like, wow, this is my superpower. I can freeze time. I can freeze water. This is so good. So literally that image just changed my life and I knew I wanted to be a photographer. I did maths, physics, chemistry, biology in school like most of us. But yeah, up until then I was like, I will be a photographer and I charted my path very clearly. I told my parents I wanted to do Viscom in Loyola. And my professor from Viscom is here who actually taught me photography, so it feels very great. So yeah, my journey started with Loyola Viscom and then I went to LLA for a year to study and I felt like I needed more information, more knowledge and also, you know, the kind of background we come from. You're not going to do anything with your life, get married. That was my dad's ultimatum. Either you do something with your life or you get married. So I was like, I'm going abroad to study. So 3 years I escaped to the US and then I worked for a couple more years there. And then, yeah, I got back and I've been shooting ever since. I traveled to Bombay for a little bit, but I couldn't, yeah, go back home. Yeah, that's where I started.
Good evening. Thank you all for coming. My family has always been a cinema crazy family. So cinemas have always, like my dad is somebody who came to school, took me out of school because Iruvar had released that day. And so we had gone for a matinee show. So that was my dad. So my uncle used to dance in college. So I was always surrounded by music and art and all that. But I think it started in school when I used to be part of Might Club, theatre, drama. So we used to take part in competitions. So that sir who was there, who was teaching us theatre, he influenced me a lot. I loved that. And I realized also that apart from engineering and the medical field, there is this also. And I think at that point, Viscom had just started. This is years back. Because my family was like, you have to get a degree. So I came to Chennai to do my degree in a college, which I don't want to name because I dropped out. But throughout the journey, then I met a lot of people also who inspired me in a lot of things. And I think I just got lucky meeting the right people, doing the right projects, and then I didn't stop. I just kept making, and then I made Chennai my home. So yeah, that's where it's going.
So, since some of you have formal education in photography and cinematography, what do you think people should do to get into the industry, since it is one of those industries that's really hard to get into? If you have anything you'd like to share about this, I think studying is the way to go. I think it honestly depends from person to person, right? Like some people are okay with just like learning on YouTube or actually doing it, versus like some of us require more of that formal environment where we have a teacher teaching us, giving us assignments, because I thrive off that. I really like having a structure of like going to class, having someone who has the experience tell us and then go do the assignment, come back and have like an overall critique with other people. That's how I learn and grow. But I know people who just watch extensive YouTube content. Like right now, everything is so vulnerable via the internet. So yeah, it depends, I guess, truly on what you want. But I think the school is also a great place where you meet other people who you become friends with forever. And that community you can't easily get on a film set. Because film sets, I feel I worked on one movie recently. So you meet people, you get really close, and then that's it, like on to the next. And then you will never meet those people again, probably. But when you're on that set, it feels like so close and so intimate, and you feel like a family until it's like time for bye-bye. So this school friendships, I feel like surpassed time when, that's my thought.
I mean, you need to get your base right for sure. Like be it photography, be it filmmaking, be it anything. You could even be an editor, but you need to learn it. You need to do you need to put your time into it. And like when I started out, DVDs back then used to have behind the scenes which came with it, and that was like a big thing for us. So we would sit and watch those, how it were made, how things were made. But now I guess there's no excuse because you have so much, you have so many, you have so many channels, you have so many ways in which you can teach yourself. So I think, I don't know, I mean, if you have to go to a school, that is I think, an individual choice. But if you want to learn, you can always learn. And it is always good to get your base right. Get the, like if you need to break a rule, you need to know what the rule is. So it's good to learn the rules first and then, so yeah.
Right.
For me, yeah, I second what both of you said, and I also feel for me personally in my journey, not just as a technician, but also as a person moving from a single frame and for 24 frames itself took me close to 2 years, because the way of thinking was very different when it comes to shooting with a story in your mind and shooting according to the script versus shooting in single image. That mind frame is also different. So apart from the technical knowledge that you gain through college or through assisting somebody, I also feel personally you have to have a lot of growth in you. You need to travel, you need to meet people, you need to watch films. So those are also things that help me like immensely. I just feel.
That makes the thing. Job.
Yes, since all of you have collaborated with each other at some point, what has collaboration been like for you with each other and with other people in the industry?
I mean, for me, okay, my collaboration with Sharanya was my way of breaking out my comfort zone. So there are certain POPs that I work with who, we would understand the vibe, so it was easier. We would function smoothly, and then I realized that we were getting too complacent, we were getting too comfortable with each other. So I wanted to change something in myself also. So I thought, okay, let me try it. And also, I mean, I don't want to make it a big deal, but I just feel that men have a lot of opportunities, and I've been working with a lot of men, and I wanted a different perspective. And also based on the project that I was doing, it was a documentary on a famous actress, so I needed a woman's perspective also. And I found Sharanya, and I saw how pretty videos that she put on Instagram, and I reached out to her, and I don't know, we just like we sing, we vibe. I think every collaboration that you do, it's good to collaborate. Every collaboration you do depends on the project, depends on your process, depends on a lot of things. So with Sharanya, it was like really smooth because she understood my strengths, I understood her strength, and we just let each other function. With you also, it's been like like I've been like Deepti and I have known each other for almost a decade now, and she's been my backbone in all my shoots. So over time, she knows my flaws, she knows my problems, and she balances that. So collaborating always works. It, I think, brings out the best in you, and sometimes it can go wrong also. It depends. Not all collaborations usually work, but I think the point is you need to create a community, or you need to have people around you. Because, like I said, sitting at home and learning on YouTube it's great, but when you have a group of people where you have your conversation, where their ideas also come in, and that's how it goes. So, collaboration, I would always encourage.
I want to also I want to talk about Amith, but I also want to talk about Renuka, because we both have a past of studying in the same college. And when I was studying, I thought told you this also, but there used to be so many of my own classmates who look up to your work, because she's somebody, she also went on to go study in America, California, in Brooksville Institute. After doing photography, after learning, she went to relearn, I guess. And that is something really rare. And for that, I always admired her and her work. And about Amith, to have somebody to trust you, okay, in this industry, which is very political, which has a lot of drama in it invariably, or where the choices doesn't lie in just one person but on multiple people. And to have somebody believe in is something which is very, very incredible. And I will forever be thankful to Amith, because for many years I waited for my work to release and it never released. And I keep waiting, you put in so much effort and you're waiting and it doesn't release. So that leads to a disappointment. And all that broke because we shot 8 music videos and 7 have released.
Yeah.
Just after like a decade, such things are happening to me. And I would like, I'm very, very thankful to him. I've told him also. But it's a very, very amazing journey. And yes, we need to understand each other as a person to do this job. That is the reason maybe why it's so emotional. Because without emotions, you cannot create art. And that is like the basic of creating art, I guess. So yes, it's been awesome.
I'll talk a little bit about advertising and collaborating in that sense. So, firstly, the ad agency approaches you, right, for a shoot, and they say this is the shoot, they give you the pitch deck, all of that. And basically, you're competing against other photographers. They're giving the same thing to 2-3 people, and then they're getting a costing from all of them, and then they're getting on meetings with you and seeing how the vibe is, or like how you can bring more stuff into the plate for their project. And then they select you. So if you get rejected, you're like rejected in that round. It doesn't go beyond that. So this is something I had to get used to, because when someone calls you and says, hey, I have this project, you get so excited, right? As a freelancer, you don't have a job for a month and you're like, cool, I'm gonna go get this job. But it always doesn't happen like that. So with years, you also learn to accept failure and stuff like that. But once that comes into the picture, you as the photographer get to decide who the hair and makeup artist is, who the stylist is, along with the agency, with the clients, you get to choose who the models are. And it's very collaborative. You get on several meetings, you pick up people who are like good for the job. And once you start working with certain people, you know like it's effortless. You'll also know when it's a lot of effort, and then the next shoot you won't work with them. Like a lot of my teammates will already be like, Renuka, I know, keep the makeup very minimal, keep it very natural. Okay, I know what clothing styling that you like. So this all comes with years of experience, right? It comes with years of knowing what your style is. And for this only, like what Sharanya said, you're shooting your first 10,000 pictures or you're shooting your 1 lakh pictures, it's just going to help you get that style. So that's very important. Like practicing is so important, and practicing doesn't mean only the day you go for shoot. Like all the mock-up pictures that you're otherwise doing with your friends, with your cat, with my children, all of that is practicing, right? Like I'll shoot pictures of my kids in good, beautiful light, and I'll be like, you can incorporate that into something else. Like so, always look for light, like look for things. I don't know if I went off collaborating, but. But yeah, it's I usually have a pretty great team. With advertising, we have like great music playing, and we're just like having such a great 1 day of shoot, or maximum 2 or 3 days. That's it, and then on to the next project.
Yeah. But I don't know if so working with a client, I don't know if you can call it collaboration, but I think that's also a sort of collaboration. I mean, we all spoke about the nice, beautiful ways you can collaborate. It's really nice to be with friends, but like Renuka said, sometimes you have to collaborate with a client also. And how do you balance that? Because you have your own creativity, which most of the time they won't get. They have their own brief. The talent you're working with, that is also a form of collaboration. So how do you balance that? So I wouldn't say all collaborations are nice. It's good to work with friends. Sometimes friendships also can go for a toss. It is important in a professional term. You will end up collaborating with a lot of people. Like sometimes I've faced stylists who've been quite stubborn with the way you don't wanted certain things. But my DOP is like, but that doesn't work. And then I have to be like, okay, guys, let's figure out something sensible. So there are different ways of collaboration. I just thought that we spoke about how nice it is to collaborate. It sometimes sucks also. Yes.
Krishnan, DP question.
Right. That brings me to my next question. What is the most challenging thing you've worked behind?
Is this being recorded?
Yes.
I'm not going to name.
Don't say names.
Good.
Yeah.
No, I think every project comes with its own challenge. The thing is, even when I started off, it was just me shooting. There were challenges to that. But I think as and when the projects became bigger and bigger, the challenges also like we worked on Coke Studio, which was like it was quite huge. But I think you face a lot of technical challenges, then you face a lot of logistical challenges. I think projects like that, it's more of putting out fires than thinking creatively. It's amazing where you can be like, oh, Coke Studio, we do creative stuff, but you also have to think of a lot of things from the client's point of view, the business point of view. So I think every project has its own challenges. Some depends on the scale. So the bigger the project, the bigger the nonsense. You might face the challenge. It could even be something stupid like a software suddenly realizes. It always happens to me when I'm taking an export. My software realizes it. This is the final edit, and he decides to freak the shit out, and he just So I face a lot of technical problems there, and then I have to tell the client I'll send it in another hour. So it varies. You have problems from budgets to big scale to everything, to even the smallest thing. Now, how do you face it is years of experience. You have to be calm. You have to think, focus, and not lose your shit. You have to understand that you've been through worse or something. It always figures out. No one's going to time for it. So that's I had a bit. And so there have been a lot of challenges. I don't want to take news, but it's always going to be there. And it depends on, at that moment, what state of mind you're in and what you want to approach it. Yeah. I'm sure she's had challenges with me. But she's saying it's nice to collaborate with her, but she'll be like, what the hell, dude? Why is he telling me what frame to put? I'm sure that's there, but it depends on how she decides to approach it. Yeah.
I actually have some stories about this.
For example, yesterday evening my client texts me and sends me 2 pictures and says, Renuka, can you retouch it tonight? And I'm like, no, can you retouch it tomorrow? And I'm like, it's a Sunday. I'm sending my retouching basically outsourcing it. And my retoucher will not be able to work on Sundays. It's so much of putting your foot down, even with people that you know and people who are really nice. It's so much of saying no. For example, one of the shoots, this happened in LA, it is an Indian client. And I'm already there for 2 months, and the shoot got postponed. We were basically doing an ad shoot for a clothing brand and a photo shoot. And he essentially told me, if you can stay 1 more month and do the shoot, then the shoot is yours. If you don't want to do the shoot, you come back. And they've already given me an advance. And for an ad shoot, this was so much money. I'm like, okay, all the money that you've essentially given me is going towards my, staying there, cost of living, blah, blah, blah. All this happens and I'm like, you can do it remote, it's like, a familiar territory, blah, blah, blah. So I stay back for another month. Second day of shoot, he comes with a whole new suitcase of clothes which we did not even plan on shooting. And all the crew are foreigners. They do not work like that. In the sense, we were shooting outside Disney, the hall, and in 30 minutes, the producer comes to us and tells you have 10 more minutes to shoot. You have to ramp up. They do not give you an extra minute. It doesn't matter. When your time is up, you have to leave. And this man comes beautifully with one suitcase of clothes and goes like, this is from our next collection. If you have time, please shoot it. And what do then? You smile, you're very polite, and you say, we will see, mudinja panla. But of course you can't, you're so packed, you're shooting video and stills in the same day for a 2-day shoot. Yeah, so a lot of stories like this. In everything there is some chickle, but I think we all gloss over it, we forget it with time, and we just only talk about the positive experience, because the negative experience we come and we went. Obviously, these were best friend. I've known her for since we were 17, so I went a lot to her. I went a lot to my husband about when it happens, but you don't openly vent about it in a public forum or a space. It stays within your house, over drinks with your friends, and I wish the industry changes. I wish there was more structure. I mean, like people should know, like you're a human being and this is your working hours. I will have clients text me at like 2 in the morning, I kid you not, after I have retouched images and said to them, I don't like this, and it's not you, it's the makeup artist. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do at 2 in the morning? You're a night owl, I'm not. And how do you be polite about it? Like so much of this industry is like how we handle people.
Yeah.
It is problem solving. You will be successful if you are a successful problem solver.
Like they have this thing that if you push a button, the output comes like this, and no matter how many projects they've done, and these are people who work on a lot of videos, but they somehow forget the process. They don't realize that there are edits. Forget the edits. Like you have to first convert the footage, then you have to go through the footage, then you have to bring the timeline, then you have to do all this, then you have post, you have to do color, you have to do and color.
Sound.
Color is something that the clients will not understand. They're like, just do something and give it to us in like 1 day. And I have to tell her that you have like 6 hours to finish. So, I mean, we've had situations on a shoot where she selected the palette, we've selected the paint of the wall, and when the client walks in that day of the shoot and says, no, we don't want this change, and we just have to over the close. And so what do you do that time? You just shut your brain and just get to the people, I guess.
Yeah.
And there's one thing, that without compromising it's impossible to create, especially when there's an external client involved. Like when you produce your own stuff or you handle your own things, then it's different. But when an outsider is involved, it's always our strength to please them at the end of the day, I guess. Which is where maybe the difference in opinion comes in. So after COVID, I actually started shooting family portraits because advertising business was very, like the negotiations were just crazy. And I was like, I need money, let me do this. So I started doing that. And you know what? These are the best clients I've ever had. They just have so much appreciation, like for you. They remember you always. Like the way I look at it, like magazine work, commercial work, anyone can do that. If not you, there are like 10 other photographers who are waiting in line to do this with one white backdrop and summer flat lighting. They don't need a person like me to basically come and shoot. So yeah, this family portrait work is like the least amount of mochi from my clients. They all love my work, so they call and they're like so happy. I'm so happy. It's like so fulfilling. It's not like in advertising. What happens is you're here shooting. You're tethered, and then your monitor's here. There are 3-4 people from the ad agency just talking in your ear. They just keep talking, and they're like, Renuka, little close, little thing, little that, and then they keep directing the model. They'll direct the model to me in my ear. Maybe she should stand like this. Maybe, and in the beginning of my career, I never corrected anybody. But then it got to a point where I'm like, hey, I will communicate with the model. The only person who's supposed to talk to the model is the photographer, not the hairstylist, not the client, not the ad agency. Like nobody can, because people get so confused. They're already standing there. They are trying to do something. You're saying 4 other people are saying different things. But yeah.
What do you do when the model tells you?
I've not had that experience so
Really?
far.
I think I know who this is.
I'm not going to name the person, but I had a star tell her where to keep the lights. Sharanya, I'm going to keep it. And she's just looking at me and she's like, are you going to take, like, yeah, sure. We had him tell us lensing shots. Yeah, it's good. It's fun. It's fun. But that's again, if you are doing commission work, these are all the things that will come. If you need to pay your rent, if you need to survive, these are things you'll have to do. Take those days off and make your own stuff. So, and then not release it.
There for you.
I have a three-part question based on everything you guys just said. Is that okay? One, how do you balance this work and life that you have going? I know how you and then you said all the things about collaborating with or working with nightmare clients. Have you had any amazing, fulfilling projects that you've worked on that you still think about fondly now? And my last question is, since all of you have worked in different countries and here, what are the pros and cons with that?
Too many questions.
I've already forgotten your first question.
What did I protest?
I'm zoned out right now. Baby.
You guys said so much.
Yeah. What is the first question?
What did she ask first, guys?
What was that?
Amith, you go. He has a newborn baby.
Yeah, I think you both should talk because you have kids.
I haven't figured it out.
Yeah, how was it?
How do I balance? I don't think I've figured it out yet because it's still difficult. I'm still learning. Not even just family. I have to balance work. I have a company, so I have to balance that. I have to take care of my beautiful employees. There's a balance that goes there. So there's a lot of things. I haven't figured that out. I guess just eat a lot of food, be happy at least. Okay, the one thing I do is I'm very careful about the people I choose around me. I don't have a lot of friends. I'm very selective people. And they are the people who I go to, so you always need somebody who you can find out. I guess even if you learn to balance life and work, it is sort of like it will come naturally, is what I think. I don't know a formula. I think you just have to. You need support. You need people. Like my wife is quite understanding and supportive some days, but other than that, then I have to also be understanding on the other side. How you balance our relationships? Like your family will be like, oh, you're not coming from home, and I'm like, but I have work, you know. So there are a lot of sacrifices that like I've done during the starting of my career, like not going for family occasions, not meeting people, not being part of certain weddings. Sacrifices that I have to do. I've not figured it out, but I just guess I just survive. I'm surviving.
Yeah.
Just surviving, eating a lot of meat from somewhere else.
There are days when there is no balance. Like that's what I'll say. There are hectic days that just go on and on. Your day starts super early, and with advertising life, with portrait life, I think there's still more balance because some days are hard, but the other days you're just sitting at home with your kids. You're still able to pick them, drop them, do all of that stuff. My husband's also in cinema, which means very unrealistic time goals, like leave home in the morning, come at night. Even if you say it's an emergency, can you come? It takes 2 hours to, get from there. So I think we're all just learning the art of balance. But when it comes to cinema, I don't know how people do it. I really wish we had more structure. And this also comes down to the third part of the question that Diti asked, how are things abroad? Super balanced. They are so particular, and if we are going to wrap up at 6, we wrap up at 6. They want to go home and have dinner with their family, and that is their priority. Work is just a part of their life, work is not their life. And I think in our culture, there is so much of பெருமை ஆக்சுவலாக. நாங்கள் 72 hours தூங்காமல் வேலை செஞ்சுருக்கோம், நாங்கள் இப்படிலாம் வேலை செஞ்சுருக்கோம், இப்படி சொன்னவங்க தான் படுத்து தூங்குறாங்க செட்டில் ஆக்சுவலாக. I saw that. Like I remember the movie that I worked on, the ACs were talking about it, like how they've shot like this, they sleep in the car, they're packed. I'm like, it's so bad for your health. No wonder you guys are dying of heart attacks. Like, don't talk about this with Peruna, And then they were like, girls can't be awake and all. 24 hours chance and all. And then how I was like sitting like this in the monitor.
just to show I can be awake, I was like one zombie sitting. I was like, there are pictures of blind guys just sleeping on the road that day, and it's like so sad. Like, we should not be having this. We should at least have a crew change when you're shooting for such a long time. But I think a lot of this has to do with the producer and saving money and all of this, and needing to stop post. I think we need to start posting about what a great family life we have, or like a friendship life, or a travel life, and vacation time, and all of this is we should post.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, yes, having a supportive family, like they both have told, is very, very important. And thankfully, I'm very lucky in that regard too, because even my husband is in Sridham. So he's also a writer and an actor, and half the time when he's available, I'm busy. When I'm busy, he's free, and that's how life is. I think it's about accepting that that's what life is, and continuing to concentrate on work. And like you're saying, yes, I also, like as an assistant, there were times when I was working on 2 films. Morning with my boss, I would shoot for 1 film. The night, I'll shoot another film. And this went on for I think 4 to 8 weeks, and I don't even remember the timeline because everything is a blur. And ultimately, it's only because my family supported me, everybody around me, nobody was there to trouble me in that regard at least. I had a peace of mind that okay, things are fine, they are there, and I could just concentrate on work. I don't know if I can do that now. This was what, 6-7 years ago, but I'm not sure the work-life balance will come at all. It is a process, and we just, I mean, it's like if you would have thought, okay, I got chickenpox as a child, but you don't remember how it felt now, right? Because we moved past it. So I guess time heals. That's the only way we keep ourselves sane while creating the work we want to do.
No, I think you need a support system, that is for sure. It could be your friends. I'm blessed with a group of people that I work with. I have a beautiful family in my office, so these guys also, like, it helps to know that they have my back, so I don't have to maybe worry about a lot of things. They'll figure it out for me. If I'm stuck at home, then they'll at the office. So it's very important to have a support system. You need to have it in form of friends. It could be family. It could be your community. I mean, sometimes I wish there was a community of filmmakers that would meet up every week and speak and talk. But I guess I don't know if it's there. I'm not invited, but it's in college. It used to be that for me. I used to meet different Viscom students, different film students, and we used to just talk shit about citizen king, not that. So, but you need something to bounce up. You need support system for sure.
I think as a woman, right, especially when you're very ambitious, you're very career oriented, I cannot stress this enough. Having a husband or a partner, boyfriend, anyone who's like completely supportive of you, who can take care of all the load when you're busy, is super, super important. Like someone who will not limit you in any sense. Like you want to do something, just go do it. Like I literally went abroad for a month to study cinematography, and Krishnan was like with both the kids, like handling it like a boss. I don't have a nanny. But yeah, you just, that primary support inside the house, inside your 4 walls is very, very important being a girl. Or like if you can get it from your parents. I see a lot of women here, so I just thought I'd stress on that. Make clear, wise choices.
I'm just going to say, all of you can ask questions as well if you want to chime in at any point.
Did we answer your 3-part question?
I have a question for Sharanya. So, post your course in cinematography, there would be a time when you actually start working in a cinema production. So, what you practiced in the institute would be like, not that much of advanced camera that are being used in the film production side, and the number of light setups all would be too complicated. And it is a little bit tough for someone to enter as a newbie and get used to all latest technology and stuff like that. So, do you have any advice to people who are in that stage that how they can navigate that?
For me, like I tell you what happened with me, it was very difficult, like how it is for anybody. And after, like I said, after photography, I just figured that I need to go assist somebody. I was very sure about that, and I chose somebody and I went and worked with him. And on day one, it was one of the biggest films that I worked on Retnaswamy, and I did not know the name of lights. I did not know because I come from a photography background, so I had no idea what it was. And for me, like from the basics, I had to go ask. So I used to go bug people. I used to ask the lightmen. I used to ask my team and irritate the crap out of them and ask them questions repeatedly whenever there's a small gap. Because the DOP will be too busy. You can't go question him or her. And so yes, my suggestion would be like learning in the job, apart from technical knowledge, just get into the work, assist somebody. That's a very, very beautiful way to learn about how the industry works. Because like Amith was saying, it's not just about what you read on YouTube or what you watch. That is equally important, but it's also about getting the practical knowledge to manage the people who are around you. Because people management is also, and it will be creative while managing everybody. And there's also physical stress. So it's physical, it's emotional. And in all ways to manage all these, we need to persist. It was difficult. I'm sure it's difficult for everybody, but that's how things start now. But down the line, we are.
I think now it's all become less creative and more people management. We've all become HR thing. Like it's all like I feel like I'm spending more time handling clients and their expectations and just talking to them, getting through the project. Yeah, that's also a reality. Yes.
Yes.
Between the three of you have so much experience working with other creators as well. So have artistic differences been constructive or destructive to the final product, to the process? Sorry to bring back the collaboration.
I'll just have a question. Yes, good. Bill? You did it.
Again, as did you want girls question? So has constructive criticism,
Artistic differences,
artistic differences
been good or bad?
has been good or bad? There are different, again, it depends on the projects, depends on the scale. When there's a lot of money riding on it, you have to give way to the client. You have to just sometimes give it, you don't always get your way. There are certain clients who are purely there because they really like your work, because usually it's they come asking, saying that we love this video, we want something like this and all. And then later on it'll just be like they're just doing something for them. They just want us to do it. So there are sometimes I have to make compromises. You have to, it's not. So initially for me it was quite difficult. I used to be like, what is this world? This world is horrible. I'm an artist, but so later on I calmed myself down and I realized that. So now what I do is, like, for example, there's a recent ad that I did for Spotify. So there were certain things that the client wanted and there were certain things that I wanted. And so I came to an understanding. I said, listen, I'll keep this because you like this, but this I want to do. So let's come to a compromise. So again, you manage the client level. You have to talk, you have to just kiss ass at some point.
Yeah.
Between us, we have been very good to each other.
Communicating.
Yeah, we talk. Like if she actually has a genuine problem, and she'll come and tell me, and then we'll see how to address it, or if I have a problem. So, like there have been times when, like I walked in, and maybe that was not the lighting I wanted, and I don't know squat about lighting. Okay, I know what I want, but I don't know what light to put where, and so she's the expert of that. So I let her do that. Sometimes I walk in and maybe it's not the mood I want, so I let her know. At that point, she can be like, "But this is what I said. You have to shoot." We talk it out. I tell her, but no, system goes, whatever. So you have to communicate, leave your egos at some point. That's, I think, the biggest problem. Egos on film sets is rampant. Yeah, you will find it everywhere, from your production guy to anybody. So it depends on how you balance. It's a balance. You have to balance it.
I agree there. Your thoughts?
Did we answer your...
Anyone else?
because honoring a definitely can do that. How that someone check that down. That's which I think is very
Studying my classes, why?
This is spoken. You will have your taste in you will have your taste for yourself. Could you face it? When trying to process, you have half this
Yeah.
from you. How you guys plan it? That's what we want. It depends on the experience or depends on the amount of work you guys to before. I wonder how do you organize?
How do you come up with a feel?
Yeah, for us. I really.
Yeah, that's all. I think I can.
I'll tell you about how it started for me. How do you,
Value yourself.
how do you decide this is your day rate? How do you tell, how do you come up with that? Okay. So for me, when I came back in 2015 from the US, my producer determined my day rate. He told me, Renuka, it's a 3-day shoot for this so-and-so client and this is the budget. And he's had a budget of 75K per day. Okay, and that was like awesome. I was like, hey, I've just come and I'm shooting campaigns for this money. I'm sitting with my mom and dad in their house, all pocket money, right, at that point. So yeah, he determined that, and from that, they start seeing the quality of work. So when you go to agencies and show your work, and then they ask you, right, like, what's your day rate? When the project comes, you say this is your day rate, and they will negotiate 100%. There are very few people who have not negotiated, and those are my favorite clients because they know your worth and they will just pay you the worth they take. Yeah, it started from there, and it's just going, but it's still staying there only. It's not like with the way the market is.
Very chaos.
Again, for me also it was the same thing. Initially when I started off, I didn't demand or ask. I was just happy to be part of where I was working. So whatever they gave, because I didn't assist anybody, I got an opportunity to work with AR Search. So for me that was so. But they would give me a check after every shoot, and we would. But then when I branched out to become professional, you ask around. You ask what is the basic rate, how much do people usually charge. So I've had friends in the agencies. I've had friends. Again, that's what it goes back to networking, and you know this trusted person in the agency, and he'll be honest with you. Once our director gets paid this much staff, you have to be aware of the business. You can't go, like for a music video, you can't charge so much because there's an X number. For me personally, I charge based on the project. Like if it's an amazing project, then I rather the money go into the production and rather the money. I look at how much of work is going to go in. Sometimes I look at the duration of the things. So it depends from clients to clients. It's weird because sometimes when you get the call from Bombay, you have a value, and then over here that's a different value. So yeah, it depends. It depends. That's what you have to know what's the going price. Right?
Also, guys, I feel like you can always say no to a client. If you feel like they're undercoding very badly, please say no, because you know what their product is worth. And with photography in Chennai especially, there's no contract. It's not like you can only use it for 2 years and after that you can't use it. Campaigns that I've shot in 2016 are still being used. You know, the models don't get extra compensation for all of that. So you can say definitely a no. And no to free work. This is my humble request to everybody who's coming up in the industry. Always charge something. It cannot be free work, even if it's for your portfolio. You have a certain skill set, right? You studied it or you practiced it or something. This person is making money out of you, essentially. So how is that? I don't know. I don't get it. So please charge. Even if it's the least amount of money, charge something. Because that's the way you keep the industry going. Otherwise, our industry will be fully gone in the next 10 years. There will be no value to photography. There will be no value to you having a 2.5 lakh camera body. Like, yeah.
But I think when it comes to cinema or music videos and stuff, for me, there were projects that I have not gotten paid. I mean, I still don't get paid. That's enough to pay quick. I used to look at the project. For me, it was that, like, just to be part of, build my portfolio, build my big art. So I think you have to see what you gain from that. If it is something that, okay, you can learn, or if it is an opportunity to assist something. Because most of the time, the people out there are going to treat you like you are honored, you're lucky to be working for me. That's how you are treated. So for me, my take would be, it depends if you're starting off. If you have means to support yourself, if you can buy bread and butter and jam, then survive on that. And just like, if that's a very cool project, it'll do something for you. I think, yeah.
I don't know, Amith. I still think people need to get paid a bare minimum.
So from what you learn from that, you go and apply and then get paid. This is what I like.
Yeah, but also I had a portfolio when I came here already. Like I had a huge body of work.
Like you have to start somewhere. So.
Yeah. That's where school helped, you know, you're like shooting already.
Right. You speak talk?
No.
Oh, okay.
That's okay.
That one.
Does anyone else have any questions? Yeah?
We don't have a very different way about it. So you are working with, as for example, the number of people that are working with that's relatively different to than to a director.
Absolutely. Smaller group.
Yeah, like Sharanya being a photographer before and now a cinematographer. Like, how do you sustain yourself when necessarily the work is not coming to beats? Like, I mean, you're running a studio, there's a lot of work from all sides, and you're also working with a team that's there with you. Like, and as a DOP, you have your own team, and as a photographer, you might not basically have a longer sustenance. In that kind of space, when you don't have work, I don't know whether that's the case with others, where there's not work, how do you sustain yourself as a creator? How do you keep yourself sharp? And how do you sustain yourself financially as well? Sustenance in different space, like as a team, as a company, as an individual, work creatively and also.
Basically, yes, for me, like there are two aspects. One, monetary. I think first is monetary because all of us will be thinking about that. So I try to make money like by teaching. I teach quite a lot actually, and I also direct sometimes for smaller clients where my work doesn't count that much because still money. And those are things that I do on the side because at the end of the day, and I maybe like when I do a commercial shoot, maybe I work for 60 days. There are years when I've not worked even for 1 day in 365 days. So that's a very frustrating, extremely frustrating way of looking at things because you get extremely fed up, people be questioning you in a particular step, but actually because watching a film every day is the learning, it's all in our mind. Like you're saying, it's not something that it's not like you read from a book and you pour it out, right? It's your day-to-day. So you need to build your body physically, you need to be very, very fit to do this job. Whether you're a man, woman, gender doesn't matter, but physical fitness is so important, so you concentrate on that. Concentrate on making some money on the side and do small projects. So whatever keeps you going are things that you have to do, like to sustain and having a supportive family when you don't have money. It's very hard being a freelancer. This is why if anyone comes to me and asks me, should I get into photography, but I'm studying this, or but I am a doctor, but I am this, I'll be like, please do that and do photography. Because the industry has gotten so big, 15 years back maybe there were like 20 top photographers, now there are like 100 top photographers and everyone is doing good work. It's not like poor work or anything. So freelancing is hard. There have been times when I've had 5 shoots in a whole year. So the rest of the time you go really down, and I think it takes certain age, mindset, all of that to be okay with it, knowing that everything is like a wave. What will go down will come up. Again, you'll have periods of it. But for me right now with my kids and everything, when I don't have work, my mind is fully busy. But Illati, I think I would have had a tougher time because you do get very restless. This feeling of restlessness, we are all thriving in center environment. We get there in the morning and we love it. We love talking to everybody. We love doing something. The day goes by, 10 o'clock, 10 o'clock, like that's how invigorating our set life is. And we do that for days. Like when I did the movie so amazing. We started at 4 a.m. and we would wrap up like 9, but 10 o'clock came and I was like, wow, next day I still want to wake up in the morning and do it all over again, you know. We all thrive off it, but I think thriving, like, also not doing anything and being chumma sitting at home, I doodle a little bit, I write a little bit, all okay only. But you know, it's some sort of a creative living, a creative life you need to pursue outside of what you think gives you money, or like, you know, if you're doing photography, do other creative things. It's really simple as doing like a little platter and you know, cutely sit there and do one fruit platter or any little thing, and it gives you joy. Because being creative, you can do it in different areas. It just doesn't have to be a profession.
Yeah. How many freelancers are here? Are there freelancers here? There's only one freelancer. 2. Okay. 3. Is everybody with the film background? Pretty much, yes. All of you? Okay. Like you said, freelancing sucks. It's quite difficult. How did I survive? I guess, I had a very supportive family, so that was there. But I think you need to keep planning ahead. You need to be a month ahead of your, initially if you're starting out, be content with what you have, I guess, and just look at growing creatively. For me, it was that. With a little bit, whatever I got, there's a lot of sacrifices that come that way. Right now, I cannot afford to be jobless because I have a company and I have a staff and I have to pay them all. So I plan 2 months in advance. There are months, so around June, July, August, September is when there's a dip in the industry. So there's a lot of shoots that happen, very few. After October, Jan, it's all peak, So, like Sharanya said, for us, for me, it is those months is when we probably rest and we take care of ourselves, mind and body. We still hustle. We still I'm a writer, director, so I write scripts. I think of other projects I can create. I think of IPs. Anybody can take a camera now, plug it in, or put a mic in front of you, podcast. You can do a lot of things. You need to do things like this that can keep you stimulated. You need friends that you can talk to. So creatively, that's how I survive. I watch a lot of movies because I am a workaholic and I'm addicted to my work. So I need to keep working. I cannot stop. So there has to be something or the other that. So I keep doing some shit or the other. So it would even be talking to Deepthi, jamming about a new script, but at the same time making sure that okay, next month this much rent is there. I have to figure out. Okay, so cut costs, no more non-veg in office. Okay, we have to figure out something. So you have to plan. You have to figure out. Then when COVID came, it was a big hit for me. That's when I realized I saved squat. Thankfully, I had my parents with me, so they supported me. There was no shame in asking me, but then you have to at some point be serious about. I know I probably sound like a grandfather right now, but you need to somehow save. As a freelancer, you have to do that until you get your big break, until the big check comes, because it's a game of patience. So freelancing is a brave thing to do, but you need to plan that out. You have to.
I have a question for you.
Yeah, you. Okay.
No, now that you've done such awesome music videos and you are well known in the industry, have you suddenly gotten really busy? You feel are you getting more stuff, or are you still is it regular freelance where it gets slow, or you know what I mean?
Yeah. No. So I do every day or at least once a week there is an inquiry for a job that I get an email from a client asking if I would like to. But these months, June, July, August, September, that's when they will talk. So there's a lot of discussions. There's a lot of PDFs being exchanged and all that. So some projects just go on forever, and then suddenly they'll be we'll get back, or now the season is over or something. So projects come, but very few convert. Very if you get screenlit. It did help when I got a good video, when an HR journey became a hit, it did really help, and that's when people started coming to me. But the hustle is still there. I still have to hustle to get the project. It's not like we are coming to you because you're so talented. We are coming to you because you're just. So there's this term called window shopping, which all the clients do. They window shop. So now I tell them, like, guys, if you're window shopping, I'm not interested. I'm not desperate. Now tea kada photo, I'll still survive. So it's like, so that's there. So I still get projects, but not necessarily everything converts.
The hustling never ends, guys.
Yeah.
Never. Seriously, my mom was still telling me, I wish the US IT money $250,000 earn panina nalla irukum. Till today, I'm not even kidding. She knows like what I do, everything, but still that dream of hers where every month you get a certain amount of money into your bank account is like a dream. And I think you need to let go of that. 1 month will be good, the other month won't. Yeah.
I thought this was a conversation. I'm not like, yeah. So, are there any more questions?
Yeah.
You can't hear. My question is. My question was Sharanya. I just wanted to know how was the transition from photography to cinematography, and what made you the choice to cinematography, and were there any limitations as a female in photography as well as cinematography?
I actually started off as a cinematographer. To be honest, I started shooting videos for like, it's like India Blitz Money, one website called Full On Cinema. So I did that for over 3 years when I was doing my visual communication. I used to shoot only videos there. And then while I also used to do photography. But then my family was really scared because they were like, you're younger, I want 21 when you finish your third year of college, right? You're like 21 alive, you can't go, you won't be safe. And that scared me also. It's not just them. To be very honest, I was also scared. I did not do the play like that. It was equally my thing. And then I thought, okay, let me go study and be freelance for a bit and then come back and think about my state of mind. And once I became a little older, I thought, okay, I can handle it. I can handle the men, I can handle the women, whoever. I can handle everybody and keep myself safe. That's when I entered the industry. And in terms of photography, the challenges were okay. Like Renuka was saying, as doing projects, similarly, like clients would come and they would be handling, but the crew was comparatively smaller. But in a cinematography situation, the crew is slightly larger, and that took some time to practice. But it's about being a leader. I think you need to be an excellent leader to be a good cinematographer or a photographer actually, or a director. So you need to be able to lead a crew of say 100 people, of 50 people. You need to make people listen to you, and you cannot let male egos come in between that. Because when I did my Malayalam film, all my main guys walked out, okay, because they're not open to this was what 4-5 years ago. They were not open to me giving them instructions, and they backed me for I think 2-3 months. And I had to get a crew from Chennai to finish the film. So those are things that have happened, okay, which are, but then right now it's much better. I would say it's definitely much better, and I get to choose my team. I get to work with directors who I'm comfortable with, and if I don't vibe well with the director, I do not work with them. If I don't feel safe, I just do not. I just say no and I walk out. There was a situation where I attended a meeting and I was not comfortable, that's the way. There's something that we kind of get right as a woman, or even men would face it with. In respect to gender, I think there's a certain safety that comes in. If I don't feel comfortable, I don't work. It doesn't matter how much money it is. So, yes.
Thank you. One now. So I was trying to look at how Facebook did work. How do you just understand your one or the other? How you start talking work with other people?
Don't get on Instagram. I think, how do I stop comparing work for people?
Well, that social media is influencing the consumer. And then you get up into the home side. How do you contact
I don't think I've ever compared myself to anybody. I don't. So what I do is I look for inspiration. If there are things like now, what excites me is if I see a movie or a video And if I couldn't do that or I didn't think of it, then I'm blown away. Then I'm like, man, that's quite cool. You know, like recently there was a Hanuman paint video and that blew my brains off. I was like, I didn't think of that. But everything else, I'm like, man, you know, it's fine. So I don't compare myself to anybody, but I'm very careful of what I expose myself to. So I don't watch a lot of content now. I make sure my algorithm is very clean. So there are certain channels I've blocked, certain people I've blocked. So it's very important where you get your inspiration. Like if you're starting off, yes, you need to look up to somebody, you need to look up to some work, you need to find your identity. So what is your kind of style? What is your narrative style? All that you need to figure out. And then don't ape it. Don't, I would say initially see how it's done. And then you need to come up with your own thing. So I do look at a lot of references. We all do look at a lot of references. And then we just get inspired by it. But I don't think you should compare yourself, because then it's a dark hole you're going into. Then you think that, oh, I'm not good enough. Why am I even alive? Or why am I doing this? I should just go back. You know, I don't think you should do that. There's a space for everybody. You just have to find that. You just have to. Again, another problem is if you have too many yes people around you saying, oh, amazing work there, but it won't be amazing. So you need to have that sense also to understand. For me, thankfully there are metrics and comments which tell me if I'm doing a good job or not. But no, I don't compare myself. I don't think anybody should compare yourself, but maybe just look up to things. You compare yourself, Renuka?
That's what no comparison, it's just inspiration, right? Like anyone who's doing better work than you is just an inspiration. One of the inspirations is right there, Madhavan, who's going to be giving us the next talk. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's the part.
Thank you so much.
That's it. What is that?
Wonderful conversation. Thank you to the audience actually who was very bravely sat through this heat and has engaged in this conversation. I'm sure that we've all got some learnings from each of our speakers here today. And I hope there will be times, as Renuka said, that there will be times where producers are thinking better about timings and about providing facilities, whether it's for women or men, definitely more for the women. And I hope there also comes a time where we shouldn't have to say that, you know, for women it's definitely a big plus if they have a partner that supports them, because we never say that to the men, that, oh, it's great that you have such a great wife, you know, along with you who takes care of all the needs when you're out at work. So I think this whole narrative has to change from us, whether we are the viewers, because we demand certain kind of films we enjoy, we pay to go and see a lot of content, and I think if we shift our focus, the filmmakers, the editors, everyone involved in the industry will have to shift their focus. So I think on that note, I would like to thank each of our panelists and thank you so much for this wonderful conversation.